It is the 31st century, and inside a house, a woman is shrieking in pain, with bloodied clothes all around her. She calls someone to get her as quickly as possible. After she hangs up, is seen that there is a horrible mutation on her leg. She attempts to get rid of it with a knife, but it only makes her suffer. Then she suddenly hears someone in the house. She gets out with a knife, scared. She doesn't notice that someone is behind her. She sees that the door is slightly ajar. She closes it, and soon someone grabs her and finishes her. She is then put inside a bag. A television news station is telling the story of the famous actress is missing. Then it moves to a story of Zoe Shannon, the CEO of Shell, a company that promises to help one look young forever. Samantha, once the star of a popular TV show, is heading to a casting call. She sees that all the other girls are a lot younger and feels a little odd. Suddenly, a girl named Chloe calls her. She reminds her that Samantha used to be her babysitter 10 years ago. Samantha is surprised, and before the conversation grows, she is called. She performs the audition. However, she gets out frustrated and reaches home. She cries in her bath, listening to a record on the phone. She had left her phone at the casting for some minutes, and all their conversation was recorded. They say that she is too old, and her career is pretty much over. The next day, even her agents passively tell her that she should look into some treatment options and get a little thinner. They recommend her Shell. The next morning, while she is at the gym with her friend Lydia, they talk about Zoe Shannon and her company, Shell. On the very night, Samantha goes on a date with a guy who recognizes her from her old TV show. He says that the show was bad, and even comments on food being stuck in her tooth. She feels embarrassed, but she likes the guy. After the dinner, as they are about to head out in a taxi, he kisses her. Although soon enough, he feels something behind her neck and stops. Samantha says that she has psoriasis. It isn't contagious or anything, she adds, but he backs off, saying they should meet again sometime later. Disheartened, Samantha returns home and sees an interview with Zoe, where she reveals her age. She is 67 years old. The next morning, she decides to reach the place. She contacts the receptionist, who gives her all the essentials, and she sees a video of the founder, Dr. Brand, explaining the process. He says that there are organisms in the sea who has the enzyme in their body, causing them not to age. He has somehow attempted to connect their enzyme with the human gene and develop the process. Samantha proceeds to the changing room, but checking out everybody, she has a change of mind and decides to leave. On her way out, Dr. Hubbard stops her. He introduces himself and politely expresses his understanding. He says that he would like to take a few minutes of her time to explain the process, and if she still doesn't want to stay, that is fine. He shows her how it has helped so many people with various skin conditions, and it is totally pain-free as well. It's just like any other surgery, and she will even feel healthier. Samantha then decides to proceed. She waits by the surgery room, and with surprise, Chloe is present there as well. Samantha wonders if she is not a little too young for the treatment, but doesn't care. She is aware that Chloe has got the role. However, Chloe says that she is not going to do it anymore because she is leaving the country, and she may also possibly get the next Catwoman role. Soon, Samantha is called in, and she gets in the casket. A mask slowly covers her face, and her body begins to be scanned. In no time, the procedure is done, and she is in a far better mood and shape. She's asked to come again for the continuity, and she returns home. By her door, she comes across an invitation to Zoe Shannon's Christmas party. She tells it to her friend, as well at the gym. While Lydia gets tired and sets off, Samantha, full of strength, increases the speed. She reaches Zoe's house in the evening. She notices her from afar, chatting with a few people. Zoe notices Samantha and approaches her. She says that she has been a fan of her TV show and chats to her a little bit about how the procedure went. She is very friendly towards her, and once it is time for food, she introduces Samantha to everybody. Samantha tastes the food and wonders what it is. Making her grossed out, Zoe says that it is her extra skin. The others don't even mind it, but she is to gulp it with force now. After eating, she chats with one of the guests and then goes to look for the washroom, only to accidentally come across Zoe's room and find her lying on the bed, busy with herself. She peeks, and Zoe notices her. Samantha, shocked, tries to skip, but she stops her. She asks her to come in. She keeps her comfortable, and Samantha, also hooked with her friendliness, talks about her insecurities. She provides her confidence and leaves her with a toy, saying she has to satisfy herself with it, and she will feel a lot better about herself. Samantha obliges. Since Chloe is gone, Samantha is chosen for the role. She goes on the shoot, begins to feel confident, and passes her days with a lot of fun. She has grown close kinship with Zoe as well. One day, while Samantha is with Lydia, checking out their old photos, she notices something on her neck. It is like a mole that Samantha hasn't been aware of. She goes to Dr. Hubbard, and he picks it off, which causes a bit of irritation. She wonders if this is a side effect of the surgery, but Hubbard assures her there is nothing to worry about. It is merely an extra skin. He leaves her off prescribing a skin cream. Samantha reaches home, and this time she feels that someone followed her there. She enters the house, and soon enough, her doorbell rings. It is a couple of detectives. They are here because Chloe is apparently missing, and they wonder if she may have some information. They are aware that both the women missing have been linked to Shell. Samantha is surprised, but but she isn't aware of anything, and they leave, giving her their card. She later has this conversation with Zoe, who tells her that there are so many people who are trying to bring down their company and spread rumors. They may be among those groups. There, she is scared to find another mole on her wrist. She reaches her home, takes a shower, and isn't aware that those mutations are growing on her back as well. All of a sudden, she hears a glass breaking. Afraid, she walks to the spot and sees that the wine bottle is broken. However, it's merely her cat. Suddenly, her phone rings. She picks it up, and from the other side, a muffled voice comes in, saying someone is always watching her. She asks if it is Chloe, but they hung up. The next morning, Samantha goes to her shoot, being all covered up. Lydia is acting as her assistant. She feels a little uncomfortable and eerie all through the process. When the shooting begins, she is not very into it. Suddenly, she pukes out a tar-like substance on her co-star, shocking everybody. She walks out of there instantly. An interviewer from Vanity Fair blocks her path, but she pukes on him as well and runs out of there. Lydia comes behind her. She says she is fine and locks herself inside her trailer. The director knocks on her door, but Samantha has called Zoe. She drives in no time and enters. Samantha shows her leg, which is highly contaminated. Zoe says that they will take care of that and takes her inside the car. Lydia stands there watching. Zoe takes her to her house. Samantha wonders about Chloe again, and Zoe replies that she has found out about her. She has apparently moved to Paris for some modeling job. Zoe goes out to bring in some tea, asking her not to worry about it. She goes to the washroom and brings out the car to the detectives. As she comes out, Zoe is there waiting. She takes the tea, and as they sit, Zoe asks her who she called. Samantha is taken aback and replies nobody. Further, Zoe asks her to show her phone so that she knows she hasn't called anybody. Samantha says that she should be in the hospital right now, and she isn't sure if she trusts her anymore. Zoe acts surprised and attempts to gaslight her, but the more she tries, the more evil she sounds. She then tries to comfort her again, but Samantha splashes her hot tea on her face and runs. She ascends the stairs and reaches the railings. From behind, she sees Zoe's creepy bodyguard arriving. She jumps from there. She rolls to the street, hurting her feet terribly. She sees that Lydia has come with her car. She quickly gets in. The guy bangs on the window, but Lydia drives off. They stop at a restaurant because Samantha has called the detectives to meet her there. She goes to them, starts explaining that it might be Zoe who is behind the disappearance of every woman. They had been the victims of the side effects of Shell, and they were taken off. However, to her surprise, the detectives act unconcerned. She soon figures out that they work for them as well and were merely monitoring her activities. She gets terrified and begins to find a way to run. In the meantime, the bodyguard has reached Lydia's car. One of the detectives got up, saying she should go along with them. Realizing the situation, she says the other one is heading up to the washroom and attempts to skip from the back door. She goes through the kitchen and the detectives run behind her. She calls a taxi immediately. She hides behind the stairs and then manages to get in the cab. It is an automatic cab and doesn't drive fast. She gets on the manual driving, but it asks for a subscription to do so. The detectives reach her in the meantime, and as they look at her car, a truck crushes them. She reroutes the car, and by the evening, she reaches Dr. Hubbard's house. He lets her enter, and after witnessing the situation, he recommends she go to the clinic with him, but Samantha asks him to do it here. He then gives her some pain medicine. He fills up the bathtub, puts in some substances, lets her cover her face with a mask, and then she dives in. The doctor drops another acidic substance, which makes her shriek in pain, but he pushes her in saying it will be over shortly. The mutations gradually burn off her. She wakes up in the morning in her bed and is very relieved to see that all the mutations are gone. She thanks the doctor, and before leaving, while she prepares her hair in his room, he notices a woman's hair already left on the comb. She further finds a box of pills with the name of Chloe in the drawer. She takes a pair of scissors and directly confronts Dr. Hubbard, asking about it. He says that she was one of his patients, and they began a relationship. However, something happened to her. Her mutations were a little bit different. She asks if Chloe is here. He replies negatively, but he is thoroughly hesitant. She starts to call her all around the house. Hubbard tries to make her stop, going so far as to choke her, but she stabs him with the scissors. She walks on and hears strange noises coming from one of the rooms. She slowly walks up there and lays her eyes on the peephole. Suddenly, a strange eye appears before it, and she is startled. She falls back, and the door is constantly banging. To further shock, Samantha notices Hubbard is being attacked. The bodyguard comes from behind and knocks her unconscious. She is taken to a factory, and in front of him are two men. One is a lawyer, and the other is Dr. Brand. The lawyer presents her with a story of Dr. Hubbard's perverted actions. They say that he has been abducting her patients, and the company will pay her off with a good amount of money so that she doesn't talk about the incident. Samantha still asks for Chloe. They say that she has gone through a bit of a strange mutation, and it hasn't happened to any other patients. Samantha threatens them, saying she will reach out to attorneys. Just then, Zoe appears. She subtly threatens her that if she does any of that, she won't have a career anymore. She will return to her terrible figure. However, Samantha doesn't listen to that and gets up. She starts to walk on, saying she will take Chloe away. Just then, the lawyer calls someone, asking them to bring her in. A truck arrives. The back door opens. Samantha watches in horror as Dr. Brand appears very excited. Chloe has turned into a huge, full-flesh lobster. Samantha reaches closer, puts her hand on the glass, and calls her by her name. The lobster starts to bang on the glass. Zoe wishes that the door would not break, but it does soon. Chaos ensues as the lobster gets out and attacks the old man first. Samantha runs back as it demolishes him. She hides in front of the truck, and the lawyer's wounded body falls before her. He is then dragged away. The lobster begins a havoc, brutally ending everybody there. Samantha runs with her crippled leg, while Zoe has taken the electric gun. Samantha, in her attempt to find a way out, sees that Lydia has come there. She lets her in. They hug, and Samantha tells her that Chloe has turned into a huge lobster and is killing everybody. It certainly doesn't make any sense until the bodyguard comes there and is taken away by Chloe. Zoe has reached them. They run and hide in a room. Zoe gets in there, continues her lecture once more, but Samantha emerges from behind and smashes her head. The lobster then arises behind. It gradually heads to Samantha, and seeing who it is, she then reaches for Zoe. She pushes her into her own machine. The lid is shut, and the power is turned on with the highest intensity. It begins to heat up. Zoe screams as she starts to burn. Then she is completely exploded. Samantha looks at the vision, leaving an air of satisfaction. Days later, Samantha has now returned to being a successful actress, being called to interviews and getting more roles. She lives her life happily and has gladly accepted her flaws. You are watching the recap of the 2024 movie Shell. If you enjoyed the video, stay subscribed to the channel. And until the next video, you may enjoy this.